Read then, lads and lasses, how we're doing, and welcome back to the channel. Newcastle United's Yankuba Minteh has been getting so much attention recently, and rightly deserved as well. He's on fine form over at Feyenoord, 10 goals and 4 assists in 32 games. He's even getting minutes in the Champions League, and of course, he's scored in the Champions League. It's not often you get that for a loanee. Now, because of this fine form, and he's genuinely been impressing many people very, very well, and of course, Eddie Howe, as he spoke about him before, but this has been spurring up a debate. Is he ready to be called back at Newcastle United next season and thrown straight into the deep end of Premier League football? Now, in this video, of course, considering it is a fan discussion video, we'll speak about he's 19 years old, he's never kicked a ball in the Premier League before. Is he ready to be chucked into the deep end, so to speak, or should we send him back out on loan and give him a little bit of time to nurture into what is top league football? So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you let me know down below your thoughts. Let's get into the video. The 19-year-old Gambian sensation is certainly one of the most spoke about players we've ever had out on loan for a very, very long time. I don't think we've ever had such a talented lad out on loan where we've been raving about this much, probably with all due respect to the other lads that have not been as talented as this very big sensation right here. So let's take a look at what he's actually done for Feyenoord this season, and Christ almighty, what has he not done? Of course, 19 years old, his first ever time abroad from Denmark, of course. That was his first team in Europe. He's got 10 goals, 4 assists and 32 appearances. Now, bear in mind, them 32 appearances, by the way, the majority of them are substitute appearances. Like I already said, an appearance in the Champions League and a goal in the Champions League, and another intriguing stat which not only I really do like, and fingers crossed you will like as well, but what Eddie Howe will absolutely adore about Yankuba Minteh. He can use both feet, by the way, which we can't really say the same for Miggy at the minute, can we? But look, he can use both feet. He can play on the left, he can play on the right. We all know Eddie Howe loves his versatility, but one thing Eddie Howe will love, in Yankuba Minteh's last game against Ajax, where they actually beat Ajax 6-0, they made history there, by the way. Yankuba Minteh with 2 goals and an assist in that game. He's on absolute fire. But one thing what Eddie Howe will take from that game, more than them goals and assists, which is all we seem to speak about in football nowadays, he won 10 out of 15 ground duels as a right winger. 10 out of 15 ground duels he won. So this lad, he's got blistering pace. He can put the ball back in the net. He can provide service to the striker, which is something we've definitely been sort of desolated at the minute. And he can graft as well. Honestly, this lad sounds like the perfect player, but sounding like the perfect player can be so deceiving in many different... We've seen it so many different times with so many different players in so many different teams. You get these young lads with so much potential and they're not physical enough for the Premier League. They're not fast enough. They can't get to terms with the way the Premier League is played. It is renowned as the best league in the world for many reasons as well. Now, the reason why we're actually speaking about Minteh coming back to Newcastle United is because we've kind of got a problematic right-wing situation going on at Newcastle United right now. As of right now, we have Miggy and of course Jacob Murphy in our right-wing slot. There's not a lot of depth there, is there, ladies and gentlemen? Ben Parkinson can play right wing. That's not a good sign whatsoever. Amadou Diallo? I was going to say Amad Diallo, the Sunderland player there, but Amadou Diallo, who's actually been released at the end of the season, is still getting called up on the bench. I mean, a lad from the academy who we are going to release is getting called up on the bench. That's how bad this injury crisis has been. But as I was saying, Miggy and Jacob Murphy, let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely love both players. Miggy, for that absolutely adorable smiling face. Jacob Murphy, he brings the banter, so to speak, but they're not the best footballers whatsoever. You can't have these players for sentimentality if we want to be a top club. Yes, we'll have very affectionate fans, very passionate fans, but them two players right there, for me, both players are so inconsistent. Miggy Almiron had that fantastic, what we like to call a purple patch last season. What was it? 6 goals in 6 games? Or it might have been even more. Honestly, my memory's so bad. But Miggy, when he wants to be, he's an absolute world beater. Paris Saint-Germain this season, Sunderland this season. I know it is a championship team, but there is many times he does pick up with a fantastic performance, and he seriously does as well, but it just lets him down so much that he can only use one foot. And it's not just for the fact that he has got one foot. When he actually uses it, his decision making's terrible. He has to stop the run of play, the patterns of play. Trippier, when he's fit, of course, has to overlap Miggy and cross the ball in for him because he can't use his right foot. Jacob Murphy, on the other hand, look, he is genuinely the perfect example of an inconsistent player. In the past couple of games, we've certainly had to sort of call up on him with Miggy Almiron's absence, of course, due to injury. And Jacob Murphy, half the game he goes missing, and the rest of the game he puts in an absolute fantastic ball just in front of a defender's leg, so Alexander Isak can tap it in. He's a fantastic player, but for me personally, next season, if someone comes in with an offer for Miggy Almiron, get shot of him. Get shot of him to Saudi Arabia. As we know, Al-Shabaab came in the summer and they actually reached a provisional and a verbal agreement with Newcastle United to sign Miggy. So if a team came in with the exact amount of money, I think it was something like £20 million, get shot of Miggy. Look, he's getting older now, I mean, as we all know, but it's certainly in a football perspective, he's getting older now, and his quality isn't quite there. If he was doing what he was doing in last season in that purple patch, so to speak, 110% keep him, but not for me. Jacob Murphy, squad player, won't kind of get the best fee for Jacob Murphy. If we do get a nice fee, of course let him go, but as of right now, he's definitely a great squad player to have there. He is a Newcastle fan, born and bred, so certainly I would like to keep him there, but it could be so detrimental to such a young lad to chuck him in the deep end. Now, I know he's 19 years old and people will make comparisons, and rightly so, you can make these comparisons. Well, Lewis Hall's played this season, he's 19 years old. Lewis Miley's played this season, and he's played fantastic as well. He's 17 years old, so what is that kind of sort of statement there? Well, the thing is, look, let's put it this way, ladies and gentlemen. Yankuba Minteh, he is a fantastic footballer, but he's never kicked a ball in England in his life. Both them lads there, Lewis Miley and Lewis Hall, the two Lewises, have grew up in England. They've played through the youth ranks of England. Of course, Lewis Miley got eased in last season. He played that, was it like a 3-minute cameo away at Stamford Bridge, and he hit the bar as well. Lewis Hall, of course, made many appearances, well, I say many, a fair few appearances for Chelsea before signing for Newcastle United. So them lads have English football experience. But for Yankuba Minteh, he's got absolutely none. He could fall under pressure. He's going into a stadium from the likes of Feyenoord and bloody Oddby or Odense in Denmark to come into Newcastle United in a 55,000-seater stadium in the Premier League. It genuinely could break the lad. So we've got to ease him in. But the kind of make or break for me, of course, it is just pre-season. Was what I was going to say is that it is pre-season. We can see exactly where he's at. Now, of course, the sort of contrast between pre-season and the Premier League, it's completely indifferent. We're not going to see his exact ability because the teams in pre-season, not only will they not exactly be trying to win the game, but it is, of course, a very experimented team. We're playing in different formations. We've got players we might not see for the rest of the season playing that game. For example, Rangers away, for Alan McGregor's testimonial, we had Jamal Lewis playing left wing. That genuinely makes me laugh. Jamal Lewis playing left wing. I never want to see that ever again. I'm pretty sure we won't either. But yes, pre-season will be a big indication. We're going to see what his physical levels are like. We can see if he can work with the players around, if he can gel with the players. And if he can't gel with the players, what are we going to do? Are we going to send him back on loan to Feyenoord, which it's a bit of a sticky one that. Has he kind of performed above Feyenoord's level? If not, he's done absolutely fantastic there. We could give him back to Feyenoord and yet again progress again there, or could we give him to someone like the Bundesliga, where of course they have the highest ever minutes played for under 23s. That's a fantastic stat. But elsewhere, like La Liga, for example, Real Sociedad, they have a right winger who may be going in the summer. His name is Tay Kubo. Even Newcastle's actually linked with him. Another right winger which we may need. But the likes of Real Betis, who don't have a nailed on right winger right now, they signed Pablo Fornals from West Ham on the 1st of February. I think he's played like 7 games for them since. So we could get Yankuba Minteh to respectively to Feyenoord, because they've been absolutely fantastic with Yankuba Minteh. A kind of more experienced building club. He's done it in the Netherlands. I was going to say Denmark there. He has done it in Denmark, but he's done it in Denmark, in the Netherlands. Can he do it elsewhere to prove that that season wasn't just a fluke? I mean, it's highly regarded that it's not, but just to kind of prove he's working his way up from the Dutch league to the Spanish league or the Bundesliga would certainly be a big jump, and would be a very sort of experience gaining one at that. Now, Minteh actually gave an interview after, of course, absolutely smashing Ajax 6-0, bloody hell, in Der Klassiker. I believe that's the sort of nickname for that derby. What a result that is, by the way, 6-0. How, God, Ajax have fallen off so bad. That is really bad for Ajax, a Dutch absolute giant. How are they falling off this bad? But anyways, look, Yankuba Minteh, after that 6-0 thrashing, gave an interview to ESPN, and he said on his future, when the reporter asked, are you going to stay at Feyenoord next season? Look, of course, are you going to go back for another loan spell? Or are you going to go back to Newcastle United and kind of prove yourself in the biggest league in the world? Yankuba Minteh said exactly this. It's Newcastle's choice what to do with me, but I'd like to stay at Feyenoord if given the chance. It's a very sticky one, isn't it? I mean, we don't know if he's just saying that to kind of please the Feyenoord fans, to not get on his bad side while he is still there. And actually, funnily enough, I can't believe this, by the way, after beating Ajax 6-0 and dropping a fantastic performance, footballers kind of have this persona about them where they are the best people in the world. They get paid hundreds of grand a week. They sleep in the best hotels, the best houses. They have the best life. Yankuba Minteh, after dropping that 6-0 performance, he was walking out the stadium. He had to walk home from the stadium because he doesn't have his driving license yet. Play the video, man. That is absolutely mental, by the way. In a world where footballers are so secretive and so kind of confidential, they're protected by the likes of the club, they're protected by the likes of security. He's walking home after dropping 2 goals and an assist, a masterclass in De Klassiker against Ajax, just thrashed them 6-0, and he's walking home. That could not happen in Newcastle, I'm telling you that. Someone in Northumberland Street would probably follow him home. But look, to finalise this situation, could Yankuba Minteh, and of course you let me know down below what you would do with him. Can he come back in the Premier League now? For me personally, it is a very sticky one. What could we actually do in the summer? Of course, we'll have quite a bit of money to spend. Do we get Minteh back right now and prioritise elsewhere, like a CDM, getting another centre-back, getting a left-back, for example? Of course, Lewis Hall's been putting in some decent performances recently. We've got Dan Burn, Tino that can play there. Or we could go for another backup striker, which in my opinion is certainly a priority. But could we kind of keep money, spend it elsewhere, and just take Yankuba Minteh and get that easy option? Now, for me personally, look, we do need to see, like I said at the start of the video, kind of in the middle of the video, the indication will be how his physicality levels are in pre-season, how his pace levels are, how he can fit in with the squad. Of course, he's never seen them before. He went straight out on loan to Feyenoord. It is going to be a very sticky one, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe one more loan will do him good. One more loan. If we are, I don't believe we'll be that desperate to call this 19-year-old lad straight back. I know, of course, we've had to call the likes of upon Lewis Miley and Lewis Hall, which necessarily we might not have had to because of this injury crisis. But with Yankuba Minteh, he's such a young talent. We don't want to kind of ruin him. And the thing what I don't want us to do is make Yankuba Minteh kind of work in this system. I know we play in a very high-pressing system, which, by the way, of course, with them 10 out of 15 ground duels won by Yankuba Minteh, will suit him to a T. But I want this lad, what we don't see in football now, for example, why we kind of got shot of Alan St. Maximin, we have players who are just dead set on goals and assists. Goals and assists, that's all that matters. We kind of want a player to entertain us. Yankuba Minteh could be that lad, and it could be something that really does excite us. But look, you let me know down below what you would do with Yankuba Minteh next season, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, I think one more loan will do him very, very good. If he wants to go back to Feyenoord, if the Feyenoord fans want him, if the club, everyone thinks it's a very good deal, get him back there. If not, I'm sure the likes of someone in Bundesliga would take him, someone like Mainz, for example. That's completely off the top of my head, or Stuttgart. No information added there, just off the complete top of my head. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap it up there. So if you did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you are new around here. For all Newcastle United content, I've been Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people.